Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of the Copy Corner for the year 2021. I've already continued to write 2020 by writing down things. I'm still getting used to the 2021 aspect of it. But welcome to the Copy Corner. This is our corner of the internet where we like to share copywriting and content writing tips to help grow your business. I am your host, Terry Schilling, and with me is
Dan Marzullo, as always.
As always, your two hosts, your two favorite writers who've been doing the Copy Corner for a little bit now, and we're ready to be back for 2021. We are live for this episode. So we do that podcast, but we are live across YouTube, on Terry Schilling Creative Channel, on LinkedIn, and on the Facebook Copy Co-op group. So if you're watching live, say hello. Where are you at? Some big goals for 2021. And as we dive into today's topic, we'll please ask some questions, and we'll answer the best we can. But what are we going to be talking about today, Dan?
Well, according to this title here, it says how to get paid for writing online.
I love it, man. Yes, we want to share some tips for anybody out there whose goal it is to get more writing jobs online, whether that's copywriting or content writing. Dan and I want to share some tips to help you get started to landing either your first, writing client or more of them for the new year and moving forward. But Dan, what would you say is your number one piece of advice before we start diving into a variety of topics?
Yeah, so my best piece of advice, and this probably sounds stupid obvious, but I think a lot of people still aren't doing it, is if you're trying to find remote, online, flexible writing opportunities, you need to be looking online for those opportunities. Quit, using your older tactics to find these types of clients in this type of business. Use, tools like LinkedIn. That's probably still, in my opinion, the number one platform for writers and freelance copywriters to find remote, flexible online gigs in 2021, right? With how much everybody's shifted to the digital world from everything that happened in 2020, right? With COVID and all that, that's where we need to be doing business now more than ever, because nobody's meeting in person still. So if you're not already using LinkedIn, 2021 needs to be your year to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. LinkedIn is a great resource. Great advice, Dan. I even say Twitter too is becoming more of a opportunity. If you look up the hashtag marketing Twitter and just say, I'm looking for writing jobs, and you may have some success of people reaching out to you, giving you some advice. So that's been super helpful and just super engaging from what I've seen towards the end of 2020. But yeah, Dan, great advice. I think too, man, is just you need to find out what type of services that you want to sell, because you just say, I want to get more copywriting jobs. I want to get more content writing jobs. It's like, okay, well, what do you do? Like, what can you be more specific about? Do you want to do these big long form content articles for e-commerce or for the cannabis industry or for wellness, right? You just focus on more specific niches of what you want to do. When it comes to content writing. And like you said, Dan, follow those people on LinkedIn, have those conversations, follow people on Twitter, join Facebook groups, do a Google search if there's any type of courses and any other, followers or influencers, if you will, entrepreneurs in that space that you can follow and see how they're running their business and the type of services that they offer. I think you can get a lot of great, insight from seeing what other people are doing. And then if you're on the copywriting side, do you want to do conversion copy for emails, for landing pages, launch campaigns, websites? Think about that, what you've enjoyed doing, and focus on what you want to sell. And then I'd say definitely get a website, like have a portfolio, start building that up. Write your own blog post if you don't have many. Do some mock-up websites for other businesses that you can show. There's some ideas that you have. There's a lot of sites out there. Squarespace is affordable. Card.io is a great affordable site where you can put in like one big landing page and put on portfolio pieces, but let people know that you exist out in the world and that you can direct people to with some of your work and your services online. So that's a big one to get started.
That's good, Terry. CAR.io?
Yeah, CAR. I think it's either 2 R's or 2 D's. Let me see here.
Cool. That's a cool
2
resource.
2 R's, CARRD.io.
Oh, cool.
I've recommended it to a few people. And yeah, you can really make an attractive, really user-friendly, website to really start, building your brand online.
Cool. Yeah, and I like how too you touched on a minute ago, kind of the importance of niching down, right, and the services you offer, and that kind of makes me think of the fact that we also, I think in 2021, it's gonna be weird getting used to saying that, right?
It is. It really is. Yeah.
But I think it's also this year important, if you haven't already, niching down your industry as well, right? Because there's a lot of businesses that aren't doing too well right now, but there is also
Yeah.
a ton that are. So if you want to find more of those opportunities, you really need to figure out, okay, what industries are thriving right now that need my help specifically. If you can really narrow that in, that's going to help you be more successful. I think, being more general and more broad is going to be a lot harder this year to stand out and win because of everything that's going on. So focus on niching both avenues, right? Genres or industries and the type of the work that you're doing. I think that's going to be huge.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a question here from LinkedIn, how to build a portfolio from scratch. So this is always a popular question, Dan, and it can be tough because if you don't have a lot of portfolio pieces, it's like, well, what can I do? Well, there's a few options. We talked on this. You can create your own mock-ups, like get a free graphic design tool like Canva, start building your own website to show people too. Guest post is a big one that you can share some content and links, and you can create like a graphic of the article that you can show as a display image and then link it to the actual article that you wrote. But if you don't have a portfolio for content writing, I just start creating long form content for your own blog and do guest posting. I know you have some advice. We've talked about guest posting a little bit here, Dan.
Yeah, and I think this is an awesome question. That would be my advice too, is okay, fresh out of the gate, no clients, start your own blog, put out a bunch of great pieces on topics that are similar to what you want to write for clients. And then when you're pitching for those first jobs, send them those links, right? For me, I know personally, when we work with new contractors and we bring new writers on the team, I don't really care if I'm reading a sample from your own blog versus another client, right? As long as the quality is good and you kind of capture what I'm looking for, that's not going to be a deal breaker to me. So, write your own stuff. If you have any samples of work from like a previous job you had before you went on your own that that's relevant, use that too. That's what I did, right? I had a lot of good copy collateral that I showcased on my portfolio just from past employers that, they were fine with. So get creative. Some people say, hey, free work is another way too. But I don't think you have to do that. You don't have to give away your time for free just to get some good samples.
Yeah. Reach out to some friends, or, if you start following some other people online, see if you can do like a small paying gig to come up with a couple headlines or subject lines for a website, and just say like, I need help building my portfolio. Is there anything that you can help me with? And some of those people may give you a small project that you can work on to help build that up for you. And on top of that, I've talked about Upwork a lot. It's sites like Fiverr as well. Build a portfolio, build a profile on there, and start finding some jobs there as well. And take some of these portfolio exercises and use that on Upwork, because that's just full of jobs of, high quality paying jobs too, of people looking for writers. And, you hear a lot of the red flags with Upwork, but you can find success there. It's really a big part of how I built my business. And there's tons of jobs out there, like I mentioned. And it's just great experience. You can kind of get about the different projects, the niches that you enjoy working in, how to price your services as well. It's a great learning experience at the end of the day. But Mahek Anwar, if I said your name right, great. If I didn't, I apologize. But thank you so much for your question. Hopefully that he helped give you some insight there. But Dan, anything else is kind of how to get started to get paid for writing online? We've touched on a lot of things, but any other tips?
Yeah, I think just, getting out there and tracking down those clients, having those conversations with people, building those relationships, right? Even if somebody that you really want to work with isn't ready for you now, stay on their mind, put out content, stay top of mind so that they do reach out to you when they are ready. What about you, Terry? Anything else to add?
Yeah, I would say start being active online as far as creating a content strategy, and I think a big start of that is start doing research, like start reading some books subscribe to newsletters, pay for some courses, some programs to learn the craft that you're interested in. Go to HubSpot, go to Copy Hackers, go to SEO for the rest of us and learn some of these tips about SEO and content writing and copywriting. Start building up your craft. And then you can start creating content around that, of writing tips out, doing videos, start collaborating with other people, be top of mind, tip of tongue by the consistently creating content. That's a strategy, Dan, that you and I, really started with. And look at, man, we ended up finding each other. If you can hear my ding going for the text messages, I apologize. It's getting blown up right now. I should turn that off.
No, I can't hear it.
Okay, good. It's like kind of distracting me in the background. So sorry. But, like Dan, you and I created a lot of content. It's how we found each other. And now we've been doing this. We've been able to create some things together, which has been, a lot of fun. But we've been able to collaborate with a lot of other people as well. I was going to say, we talked about some other books. Go back and listen to some past podcasts about some of our favorite books and resources to really help you, start with copywriting. But, Joseph Sugarman's the Adweek's the Copywriting Handbook is a great book for any beginner copywriters to learn a little bit more about the craft. But any other resources, again, Dan, that come top of mind for you?
Just check out those past episodes. I think we definitely listed a lot of great ones, whether it's books or tools or just keep reading online and, finding things that are going to help you. I think that's huge. Follow these, like you said earlier, these influencers that are already where you want to be in your business and learn from them. Yeah.
Start with pick a list of I want to follow 5 people and follow them and start creating a list of the different entrepreneurs, the different copywriters, content writers that you look up to. See who they follow, see how they engage with, and write down some newsletters, some groups that you want to join, and create a schedule of how many days, what times do I want to just take time to engage, write a post and create content, and then start tagging people too. Like tag Dan and I in LinkedIn if you have a post. What do you guys think? That engagement will help draw more eyeballs to your content. And that can help just build your brand and eventually be able to help you sell your services.
Well said, Terry. Absolutely.
And we got one more comment from Lori Marsh, who said, "Hey, I had a lot of luck reaching out to a nonprofit that I love, and it not only gave me some great samples and feedback, but they have referenced me to others." Yeah. So if any other brands that you really like, reach out, email if there's anything that you can help them with as well for getting paid online. But there are, a lot of opportunities. But if you have the creativity side of it, if you have a passion for writing, and you have the motivation for it, I think it's 100% possible if you just stick with it and stay consistent. As cliche as that sounds, but if you surround yourself with the right community to help keep you motivated, it's easier than you think. I'll say that.
Heck yeah, Terry. Your network determines your net worth. That's still one of my favorite quotes.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, hey, hope to say your name right. Thanks for the help, guys. Absolutely. My pleasure. Thank you for watching along with us on LinkedIn. We'll be having this podcast and we're looking forward to a lot of other future copywriting, content writing tips and Copy Corner episodes for everybody out there. But Dan, any last words as we gear up for 2021?
No, good luck to everybody in the new year. I hope that it's off to a great start for everybody and happy Monday.
Yeah, well said. All right, everybody. Love what you do. Proceed with passion. We'll see you next week on the Copy Corner. Cheers.